Welcome to the neighborhood, YouTube family. Wait. Cut to the beat.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this style from me. And if I ever see them, man, they probably bow to me. And when this beat drop, I know they gon' lean. World debut.
Hey, what's up? If you're new here and this is your first time seeing my face, hi, my name is Mark. Please remember to slash that like button, and also please remember to annihilate that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell. And also, you guys know I live for the comments down below. But let's just jump straight into these reactions. Let's go. Okay, so before we get into this reaction, huge shout out to and yes, like the gift says, you are the real MVP. So we're definitely going to be reacting to Slipknot Gematria, I think that's how you say that, called The Killing Name. And this is going to be the audio. So I'm definitely anxious to hear how this sounds. One, because Slipknot, this is going to be my first time reacting to them. And actually my first time, I think I've heard of their name before, but I've never actually listened to any of their music. So I'm definitely anxious to hear how this sounds, especially off of the title alone. So I'm very intrigued. So without further ado, I'm not gonna hold y'all. Let's just get straight into this. Let's go. Go ahead. I love the way he's playing this guitar, like it's phenomenal. This is like a guitar solo at the beginning, okay. I almost don't hear the drums. That's crazy. I'm so focused on the guitar. Oh, I love this. I love how this is starting off because it's giving me like a vibe where he's like real, like frustrated, and I can hear the aggression being channeled in his voice pretty much. Like he's just taking out all his frustration. And I believe he was sitting, I think this is about, if I'm not mistaken, he's like, it's basically, I think he is talking about America, if I'm not mistaken, but not in the sense of basically hatred towards the country, it seems like, but it's like from, at least from the way he's channeling his lyrics and the way he's expressing himself and the frustration that's within him and how he's projecting himself and coming off, it's like he's more frustrated with the people, if that makes sense. The people who inhabit America, not the country itself. Like you're separating the people from the country, of what the country is supposed to stand for, from what the people are representing in that country, if that makes sense. Let me get back into this. like this is what I was saying. This is what I love about the heavy metal genre, because the heavy metal genre taps into emotions very well, and it's not only because of your voice and the way that you actually portray the lyrics. It's also in the tone of your voice. It's also in the tone of the way that the instruments are being played and how aggressively they're being played. Like there's so much emotion being evoked in so many nuances of the heavy metal genre and just the musicality in general. Like not only do you have to pay attention to the lyrics, you have to pay attention to how the drums are being played, how the guitars are being played. And even when you watch the live performances, you got to look at the disposition of the members of the group and how they are. And then it's just like so many things you have to sit there and pay attention to. And that's what I can appreciate about heavy metal and the genre itself, especially with even rock too as well. But let's jump back into this. Yeah, see, like I said, he's basically talking about America. Like that's what I was getting, like at the beginning, at least with the way that he was talking, and he just brought it up and mentioned about America and things like that. So that's why I was like, yeah, this sounds like he's like I say, he's frustrated with not the, I don't know if I want to say if he's frustrated with the politics that goes on within America, but yeah, I feel like that's what it would be, because the politics represents the thoughts and values of the people, in which I was saying that he's separating the country from the people. Like, yeah, our country is supposed to be built upon basically freedom for all, life, liberty, and just prosperity and just equality for all. But do we really represent that? There's really like this disbalance of power within the American system and the way society views different types of people and different type, not even just by race but social class as well, and equity in politics, religion. Like there's so many different layers to undercut of how America tends to classify people and other people and tend to shun people, but then yet America always wants to insert themselves into other people's politics without looking at the distorted reflection, which is ourselves half the time. Because it's like, until you write the realities of what we have done, you can't sit there and try to write the realities of some other country or somebody else's politics. And that's why I always think about it. It's like America, this is why I always said, like, America tries to master this art of illusion, but they can't even get reality right half the time. So it's like, how can you do that when you can't even get your reality right? But let's jump back into this. Ooh, I like that. Is he saying that I think, like I said, like I was thinking about what he said, that he's saying that it doesn't feel, but it doesn't feel, but it discriminates. I think that's what he's saying. I'm not 100% sure on the lyric of what he was saying, but that's what, at least that's what I'm getting. But I don't want to sit there and say something that I'm misinterpreting and mishearing. But I felt like that's what I was hearing. But let me get back into this. Yeah. And like even at that part, like I feel like he's declaring war on the people, not the country, but the people, to try to basically challenge them to be better and to do better and to be greater, and not to sit there and basically succumb to what our reality is. And that's what I love about what this song represents. Like it definitely is it takes time to get used to, because like I said, me personally, I'm not from like real heavy metal, and like just listening to it, like my ears had to adjust like when it first started off, but I'm really in tuned and enthralled basically by the message that's basically being portrayed on here. Like I like this a lot. That looks like that's gonna be a dope song. Unsainted. I want to hear that. That thumbnail is bomb. I like that. That was like so aggressive. Like I love the attitude portrayed into that. Okay, so let's quickly talk about Slipknot with Gematria. I think that's how you say that. I feel like I'm saying that all wrong, but correct me in the comments below if I am. But I definitely like this song. Like I said, it took me some time getting used to, because like I said, my ear is not used to hearing like music that aggressive and that clashing like that. So it really took me some time. Like when the song first started off, I was like, oh, okay, that's different, even though I've done like a few other heavy metal reactions, but this was like hard hitting in your face. I felt like I got gut checked from it. But it was like but the thing is, I loved it because it was so different, and I love different things and being exposed to different situations, and this was definitely a situation that I'm here for, that I got exposed to. I loved the underlying message of what Slipknot was doing with this song. Like I loved that play on basically separating people from country, and just like, yeah, I love where I come from, don't get me wrong, like this, like our country is great, awesome, love it, okay, but yet there are some things that need to be fixed, like the people that live up under the umbrella, which is the United States. Like, yeah, you can sit there and love the country, but you don't have to sit there and love what some of the people who spew hatred represent. Like, if that makes sense. And it's like we all can come to the realization, no matter where you are on the spectrum of East versus West Coast, we can all come to the realization that America has things that it does need to work on. America's a great country, love it. This is where we're from. This is what we're here for. We live it, we breathe it, we understand what it was, why people come here, and why we're supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave. But at the same time, we all have to notice that there are disparities among people, classes, genders, races, religions, everything, all under the spectrum, because we have people who always like to sit there and other and typecast people just because of their differences. And that's the crazy thing. We as people always tend to reject the unfamiliar instead of embracing the diversity and the differences that people come in. And like I said, I loved it for that. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. This was my first time reacting to Slipknot, and I thought they did an absolutely phenomenal job. At first, I was going to give it like a 7 or 8, but because of how it was starting off. But it was like once I got into the lyrics and the meat and potatoes of it, I was like, wow, I definitely like this. Like I said, it took my ears having to get used to it before I could sit there and be like, and it's like, oh, because then that would have been me othering something and not giving it a chance. Now, you see how we have like these preconceived notions without giving something a fair shot and listening to it. So I just wanted to give that example of how what I was sitting there saying, when I believe what Slipknot was saying, sometimes we come in with these preconceived notions of something, or we don't give something a full chance to basically stick before we sit there and ready to sit there and shun it or typecast it or just sit there and rate it or something. You got to give it, listen to it in its entirety, digest it, and then you speak. And that's what I had to do before I could sit there and be like, oh, it was this, and this was not, this was a bomb song. Like, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. So with that being said, please let me know what you thought of Slipknot with Gematria, the killing name. And with that being said, please remember to be safe out there. Remember to stay awesome, be awesome, because you guys are all awesome. This is your boy Mark, and I'm signing off. Deuces. Peace.